Hello, hello. I'm Angryweezel, and today we're looking at an early access game called Enshrouded, made by Keen Games, which brought us Portal Knights, a Minecraft-like fantasy RPG as well. I'll go over my initial thoughts on the game and what I enjoy about the game thus far, followed by a few dislikes, and then I'll let some raw gameplay speak for itself. I'll try to keep the videos short so that both of our attention spans can keep up. And lastly, if you enjoy the video, mash that like button and maybe subscribe if you enjoy the way I do things. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. And remember, stay angry. Alright guys, so as you guys see in the background, we have a character customizer. It's pretty robust so far, especially for an early access game. You have presets for your body type, your head, hair, eye color, or sorry, hair and facial hair colors, as well as multiple different presets. I can be bald, so that's always a preset for me. And then you can also change up your voice as well. Finally, they end it with just a simple name creation. I pop in an Angryweezel because that's me, and then we get started into the world. I'll let the video speak for itself for just a little while and kind of watch it as we get into the next server, and then it goes into lore as well, and I'll peek back up when we get back into gameplay.
Long ago, a wanderer brought an enthralling gift to the people of Embervale. The elixir. It was a cure, a blessing, a weapon. Once concealed by the ancients, its might had been set free. With it came power, mistrust, and a longing for more. Humanity dug the elixir wells, ripping apart the land and each other to quench their thirst. Elixir and blood, a drop for a drop. But from the depths of the wells, an unforeseen curse crept into Embervale. The Shroud, a ruinous fog which sought only to spread and devour. Facing their downfall, ancients and humans united to forge the Flameborn. Now, your time has come. Awake.
Right off the bat here, as we're exiting the altar and we saw that initial scene and everything, I kind of get like Fable vibes as we continue to enter into the world and everything. Fable was one of my favorite games as a young guy, and as I was growing up and everything. It's made by Lionhead Studios, which I think went out of business shortly after they got done with Fable 3. But again, it just kind of reminds me a little bit of Fable here, and then it kind of opens up as well. And then it also kind of reminds me a little bit of the newest Zelda that came out on Switch. Kind of opens up into a castle, the land's all screwed up. We got a shroud around here that has some monsters and yada yada yada. And then it'll just kind of go through like a brief tutorial here. Again, for an early access game, the tutorial was really clean. It allowed you just kind of like flow through your journey through figuring out that interface and everything like that. It wasn't too intrusive. It didn't make you sit through like just walls of text. So I really appreciated that. I'm sure you guys do too. And then I'll jump back in here in just a little bit. things that I started to enjoy here in this game, it's marketed as basically an open world survival game, much like Ark or Valheim, and it has a lot of Valheim like esque features to it and everything. But it also kind of hits that little. You can get your friends in here and play through a world, almost feeling like kind of a Dungeons and Dragons playthrough, and you can build your own world and stuff like that. A little bit like Valheim, but not quite as I think Valheim kind of locks you in. This game feels more kind of free and allows you to kind of do what you want. Also, the fact that the environment is destructible and everything like that just kind of continues to draw me in. I also like how the fact that during this gameplay and everything, you see that like I have a torch in my hand, but it's a dark game, so meaning that like you go into like dungeons and stuff like that, and it feels kind of spooky. It makes you kind of want to have your torch out instead of just always having out your main hand, like a sword or a shield and everything, just kind of barreling through the map. Also, it kind of lights up as you go because you're technically like a flameborn. Basically, as you go, like these little wisps will shoot out and then basically light up the torches around you. Thought that was really cool. At this point, we start to learn about what this mist is, and it kind of shows you in the trailer. It's called something called Enshrouded. It's basically a mist that an ancient civilization before you hit, or as they were digging down into the earth, and because they hit it, it came up and basically surrounded the world with a shroud. And inside the shroud, you have these monsters. And here's a quick look at the combat system. Initially, that combat system looks really, really simple, and it kind of like maybe leaves some wanting. But as you get further into the video and everything, we'll go against a little bit of a harder foe and some higher level of the like the mist or the shrouded zombies or whatever. You start to notice that if you're not hitting exactly where you need to hit, and you're not actually going into a situation and keeping up with where the other zombies are, you're quickly going to get surrounded, and then basically they can overtake you really fast. And your health, especially as a naked, newbie or whatever, you start to really start feeling it. And if they hit you once or twice, you're basically dead. Later on in the video as well, you'll see an NPC that's actually, it looks like one of you basically that came out, and you get to fight him. They have a lot better arms on them. They're better equipped. They have a lot more health, and they actually work together, and they'll start trying to flank you. These little braziers, or the flame altars, basically act as your flags for your base. When you first initially build it, it's a 40 by 40 by 40 circle or square. It looks like a circle when you see me kind of building here in a little bit later. The crafting system and the build system are actually pretty legit. The crafting system again reminds me a lot of Valheim and Ark, and then as you go into the build system, it looks like more Valheim-esque building simulator. However, it seems to go a little bit more in depth with what you can actually build, how you can build it, and then as you notice, as I start putting up the walls of my house, you can basically freeform whether or not you want half walls, full walls, you want doors, roofs, windows, yada yada yada, and it allows you to do it pretty seamlessly without having this big clunky UI to basically get in your way for building your own items or your own buildings. So basically right here, I run out of materials, and it tells me like, and then you see the half wall as well. Once I run out of materials, I try to go back to the crafting bench and basically make more of these wood blocks, and then I'll skip through a bunch of everything and show you what the finished product looks like. There's my cute little house, yada yada yada. It looks pretty simple. It felt pretty simple. I made a bed later. The only one of my dislikes in this game is just kind of a little bit of immersion breaking, and it felt kind of lazy, especially with like the fact that you can blow holes in the ground and you can kind of like dig through and mine and all this stuff. When you chop down trees, the tree doesn't like fell itself. It doesn't like fall over as like a log like you see in Valheim or other games like that. It just kind of pops out little pre-made logs that are cut up in like basically an asset, and then the tree itself just drops through the ground. It felt kind of lazy to me, but it is what it is. Here you can also see me cooking. The cooking system was pretty easy, and it didn't require me to actually like like know all the recipes right off the bat. Basically, you just sit down next to the fire, and then it has a little mini game where basically you hold it down until it hold down the left mouse button until you hear the the sizzle, and then you can pull the food off there. It allows you to pretty much cook a large variety of things right off the bat. Again, for an early access game, this is pretty impressive. What you see me cooking here is some rabbit that I killed earlier, the raw lean meat, and then some mushrooms I picked up around the map. And then also I found corn earlier, and it allows me to roast some corn. Again, pretty cool. At this point, we skip ahead. I went ahead and outfitted my guy with a bunch of rags and everything. Basically, you just need twigs and some string, and a lot of these clothing piles that you'll find in like these tents and as well as around the map. The beds that you see in the map and everything are perfectly well and good to sleep in as well. Chests are just kind of laying around, and the lore pages are pretty frequent, and you find them just kind of flowing through the map, which is really nice. You don't have to go searching for lore in this game. One of the other things is the crafting system in this game just is extremely simple. The UI, when you like as you first pick it up, is just very well done. There's not a whole lot of guessing how to get to the crafting menu, how to get into your backpack, trying to like get the controls, but there's also not a lot of hand holding in this game, which makes it pretty interesting. Again, it gives me the fact that I got a bridge to go over, but then as I approach the bridge, the tutorial takes over again pretty seamlessly without getting in my way if I don't want it there, and it's not locked onto my screen. So again, the UI here is really nice in this game. Is again for an early access game. Basically, what it told me there is I need a grappling hook, and I can't make a grappling hook just on the normal crafting menu. I have to be back at my workbench for that, so that's something I'll have to go back and build later. Okay, as we start going down into the deep dark mist and everything to find out where the hell we're going, we get another path. Basically, it just says stay on the path. So again, you can kind of run down in here with your crew and everything and just kind of go explore inside the shroud, but you need to make sure that you're getting in and out. Also, as we get down here, you'll see a little green vial over on the left. Those are basically, think of them as shroud cancelers. You can basically take those, and then like you can have extra time inside the shroud. So having those or knowing where they're at would probably be pretty important later in the game. As we move through here as well, you see that I pick up my first like rare item or uncommon item. It's a ring. It gives me a little bit of some stats or boosts to my stats. Again, here's that restore time kind of elixir. It's pretty cool. And then, real quick, I'll just kind of go into like some of the things I don't like about the game. So far, for an early access game, after playing this one, and several other early access games, I'm a big Star Citizen player. I deal with bugs all the time. I'm really good at troubleshooting them. And then also seeing games like I think it was the day before or whatever the hell it was that basically came out and just was a massive flop. This is really, really refreshing. This game came out. I didn't have anything on my radar for this one. It popped up the other day on my Steam. I checked it out today, and I'm thoroughly impressed. It looks good. It feels good. I don't see any bugs with the UI yet. I haven't seen a whole lot of issues with the game so far. For 20 bucks, it's a good deal. I can easily see myself playing this with my buddies, playing it on stream and just kind of really delving into it. It's also, with how easy it is to get into it, it's really kind of relaxing. And then like that, for instance, like you just walk up to a fire, it pops up. You don't have to waste time with trying to find flint and fire starters and yada yada yada. It just allows you to play the game. So as a casual game, I can do nothing but praise this game so far. Again, I'm pretty new to it. This is my first playthrough, but right now I'm highly recommending this to any new players, anybody that's been looking for a Valheim or an Ark or any kind of like open world survival competitor. This is a great game to get into. The last thing I'll mention on this, and I'll just let the kind of the game play out and let you guys watch the rest of the video. It takes about about 10 minutes from here. It's just me going through the temple, getting the guy, and then bringing him back to camp. But here's some combat as well. Again, the combat for having either arrows or swords or axes, shields. I haven't tried out magic yet, but everything feels pretty fluid, pretty easy to use, and it doesn't take a whole lot of a skill to really get into. It just allows you to, again, to play the game the way you want to, and the way that maybe you just play on a natural game. Other than that, I really enjoyed this game. Again, I strongly recommend it. If you guys liked it and made it this far, please hit the subscribe button or hit the like button. It always helps the channel, and then I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Stay angry.
Speak up.